What's up guys, Cody from Pink here, and today I'm going to show you how to replace the analog stick in a 3DS XL system. This one is completely missing the rubber part. So what you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver, smaller one, this is size 00, and a replacement analog stick, which you can get off of eBay for like maybe $5. Alright, so to get started, we're going to flip over our 3DS XL, make sure the system is turned off, and remove the stylus and the SD card. Alright, now let's start with these two screws right here. Okay, after you've loosened those two screws, you can take your fingernail right here in that little indent and just pull this plastic bit off. And on the other side. And just remove this back plate and set that aside. Next we'll want to remove the battery. Just lift right there and pull it out. Alright, so from here there are 7 screws actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there are 2 hidden under these little rubber pieces. So you can just kind of get your fingernail and pull them out, or if you have a small Phillips screwdriver you can kind of get under them if you're having trouble with your fingernail. But just pull those off and be sure not to lose them, put them in your screw tray, and let's take those 7 screws out. Alright, now that all the screws are out, we're going to want to lift this piece off. However, before you do that, you want to make sure to be very careful because these trigger buttons right here, or the shoulder buttons rather, there's a ribbon connecting this piece here, the back piece, and the board. So you want to pull it off very slowly and pull it from the bottom. Here, just a sec. There you go. Once you pop it up, grab the bottom and lift like this. That way the ribbons are staying connected because you don't need to disconnect them. It's only causing a little bit of extra work. So after you've pulled this back piece up, just set it down flat like that. And now we're going to want to go with the analog stick. The analog stick is found right here, this little white thing right here. There are 2 screws that you will need to remove from there. You can see those. So just take those screws out. And just like with the NES, you'll notice that these 2 screws are going to be longer than any other screws. So make sure to make note of that when you're putting this back together. Alright, so pull this piece up. And there's 2 situations you could have here. Now for my analog stick, the rubber bit was missing, so because of that it just came out very easily. However, if your rubber piece is still there and just kind of in bad shape, you will need to get under it, and I'll show you exactly how to do it, but in reverse when we replace the thumbstick. So just go ahead and discard the old thumbstick. Now if you need to actually remove the thumbstick and it had the rubber bit still on, it takes a little bit of extra work. If that's the case, you should remove these analog shoulder buttons just by simply lifting them right off the board. They're not locked in or anything like that, so you can just kind of pop those ribbons right off and set that aside. Let's remove the analog mechanism. To do that, you will lift this ribbon lock right here. If you can see that. Just lift that right here from the right side, and then you can just pull the ribbon right out. Alright, now that that's all safely out and all the ribbons are out of the way, let's go ahead and open this up. And you'll see this is the shape of the analog stick that we're going to be putting in. So you notice how it has those little like notch, this little notch right here? You want to put it in just like this. Put the notch in there and just twist, and there it goes. Or if you're doing the opposite, if you have to remove it, put your thumb down so that one of the halves of the notch is coming out, and then just kind of push it through. Nice and easy. Alright, but I want this one in because this is my new analog stick. So there we go. Now those pieces I accidentally dropped there when I flipped it over are right here. So this is where you would like attach a strap or something like that. So don't be like me and make sure to pull those out first before you flip it over. If you need to put them back in place, they are very easy. They're just little pieces of plastic. There you go. Alright, now that our analog stick has been put in, very easy from here. You grab this little piece you may have seen, and you need to wrap it around the analog between the plastic shell of the 3DS system, but underneath that notched piece that we put in. So it might take a little bit of finagling here to get it in, but it's basically the same principle as you get one end under and then kind of twist it. There you go. Alright, cool. From there, we're going to want to put it back together because we've basically completed the installation. So first, let's attach that ribbon piece back in. And be aware of this. There's a little like plastic washer that goes right here. Let's just move that aside. And let's put our ribbon back in place. Now this is all very small. If you have some tweezers, that might help you out, but it's not required to do this to get it all back together. But you'll want to slide the ribbon back into the ribbon lock right there. And then once you've got the ribbon cable in there, you want to push down to lock it into place. There you go. And just like on other common controllers, it's kind of an oval shape here on the mechanism, and that will plug right into our analog cap. So let's get it ready by putting the plastic washer over the analog cap and just flip it on over and push. Cool. Locked in place. Alright, let's screw it down with our two longest screws. Alright, the cap's safely back on. And let's put our back plate back on. So don't forget your shoulder buttons or else you're going to have a bad time when you go to play your 3DS next time. Shoulder buttons plug in just right here. So first you'll notice an empty socket on the 3DS system on both sides. And you just simply press them down and you'll feel it lock into place. It's all very small, so it takes a little bit of feeling around, but you'll feel it once it goes back into place. There you go. Now shut the shell back over. Push down on all sides to make sure it's all locked in. All right. And now that this is all here, let's flip it back over and make sure this feels right and make sure any of the buttons feel correct, just in case anything got messed up while we had it open. There isn't a lot of room for error here. It's really just the analog stick since that's what we worked on, but it all feels very good now. So let's put all the screws back in and go try it out. And don't forget the small black screw. That'll go right here on the cartridge slot. And don't forget your little rubber pads that conceal the screw right there. Alright, slide the battery back in place. Your SD card. Stylus. The back plate can be put in most easily by sliding in the bottom first. There's some little hooks that will lock into place here. And then press down. Up here it actually locks. You'll feel some plastic clips go. So just like when we close the DS system, just make sure you tap all around so it feels nice and tight. And then get those last two screws. Alright, DS system is good as new. Feels good. Thanks for watching.